Hi and welcome to AE Help Academic IELTS Test Preparation videos. The lesson you're going to see today and all the materials and strategies are taken from www.aehelp.com. For lots more help with academic IELTS preparation, please visit us there and join our full course. So now we come to the second part of the essay, the overview. Now, what is the overview and why is it so important? Well, different teachers have different ideas about this, but my starting point is if you look at the descriptors, the band descriptors for task achievement, which are available online. For task achievement, in the band 7 it says you have a clear overview. In band 6 it says you have an overview. And getting down to bands 5 and 4, there's no overview or you haven't talked about the most important things. So essentially an overview is a summary, if you like, of the main trends, the main features, the big picture about this data, about this graph. What does it tell us? You don't have time to describe everything. You're not asked to describe everything. They don't want you to describe everything. They want to see the skill of your being able to identify the most important points from this graph. If you want to think about it this way, this might help. It's like a conclusion, but it's the conclusion before we write the body. Now you might be thinking, oh, that's a bit strange. Why is he saying write the conclusion before you write the body? Well, this is my view, and this is what I tell my students. If you have a summary, it's the big picture. You can identify the most important things, and if you can do that in the overview, then the overview will be your map or your guide for writing the body. Now, what I also say to my students is that when you write the overview, you want to think about the main changes or the main features. Now, I always say also that you don't include numbers here. Don't talk about how much it increased from this to this, or don't talk about which year. Just a general comment about, for example, these two countries had an overall increase, this country had a decrease, this one had the biggest change, the smallest change, and so on. We'll save the details of, for example, in 2000 the cost was $43 and in 2015 it increased to $68. Save that detail for the body. So just to reiterate then, what's the overview? It's a summary of the main features, the big picture of the whole graph, and it's a guide for you to write your body. And it will save you time actually, because it means when you come to write your body paragraph, you don't have to think about analyzing the data, because you've already done that. You only have to think about the language you need to describe the changes. Okay, so what I'd like you to do now is to take a minute or 2 minutes, you can pause the video, look at the graph, study the bar chart, and then think about what are the, 4 or 5 most significant features or trends on this particular example that I've shown you today. So you've had a look at the graph and you've been trying to find the main trends, the main features for the big picture. No details and no numbers at this point, remember. So let's see what I've identified, what I think are some of the most significant features. I'm going to put them up on here. You can compare it with your list. So first of all, I've got overall. I think overall is a very good word to start the overview. Anyway, so let's look. Main features then. What's the first one? I'm going to put these in note form for now, okay, not in complete sentences. So I've got Australia, most expensive for the whole period, compared with the United States, which was the cheapest over the 15 years. There you go, there's our synonyms in action, you see. We don't need to repeat 2000, 2010, all of these dates for the whole period. Well, we know, the reader knows which period you're talking about because you told them in the introduction. Which 15 years? They know which 15 years because you told them in the introduction. Okay, what's next? So I've got all countries showed an increase for the period except Japan, which of course showed a downward trend. Japan also had the least or the smallest change in cost. As opposed to the UK, which had the greatest change or increase, let's say, because we don't want to repeat the word change. Okay, and you could add that the UK and the United States followed very similar trend, or let's call it an upward trend. Okay, so these are the points which I've identified as being the most significant features. You'll notice, again, just to reiterate, no numbers, no dates in here, because you're going to use the numbers and the dates to expand all this information when you come to write the body. And for the body paragraph, see that this is now a summary. This is like a conclusion of all the most important points. Now you've got this is your map, this is your guide for the body paragraph, and you're going to, I think my advice is always to take the first point, start the body paragraph, start with this point, expand it, include some numbers, some details from the charts, take it point by point and describe in detail what kind of increase, dramatic increase, slight change, etc. And just take it point by point and expand them, and there you've got your body. This will be a much quicker way to write your body because you don't have to think about analyzing the data. You've done that here. You just have to think about the language you need and filling in the numbers with the cost in dollars and which years it was and so on. And there are other videos available on aehelp.com which you can look at for describing change and for writing body paragraphs. So anyway, you can practice these strategies at home. There's lots of tasks you can find online, practice tasks. You can brainstorm synonyms and different ways of talking about the data, like we talked about for the introduction. You can practice looking at the data and identifying the 4 or 5 most important features. Time yourself, try and do it quickly. It's, as I said before, you know, you take 2 or 3 minutes to do this, but it'll save you a lot of time during the exam. And that's really what you need to be able to do, because 20 minutes, 150 words is actually very difficult to do. So try this at home, practice, and good luck when you come to write your test. To see the rest of this lesson and for lots more help with academic IELTS to get a high score next time you sit the IELTS test, please visit www.aehelp.com and join the full course.